Good morning. Good morning. Yes? Check. Louder. Good morning. Louder. Louder. Good morning.
There you go.
Yep, I think so. Okay. Are we ready? Where's Kyle?
Who are you looking for?
Kyle.
Back here.
We got Kyle? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's try it again. Good morning, Millinocket. We're going to do it one more time. Good morning, Millinocket. Welcome. Thank you, Willie One. We are so grateful that you're here. We're going to get started. We're pretty excited. We have a lot to say, we have a lot to share, and we want you to see our sacred space that we created. It's been a journey, and our journey is not done. When you walk through this space, you're going to realize that the supply chain has had its impact. Our flooring, while it looks beautiful, is not the flooring that will remain. And you'll also see other changes if you come and visit next month. So we're excited to get this started. We're going to start off the way we start off all of our meetings, with a prayer, with gratitude. And we have Cyril Francis, a Passamaquoddy tribal elder here, and also a Wabanaki public health and wellness team member to do that for us. So please, Cyril, join me.
It's going to be a little bit too high, I think. Good. Awesome. Uliwan psidewen. Gichinueskumen, chiwuliwan yurgizi beji pieg, ejidap utgeik, gwenog ejiwulgiskok. Chiwuliwan alina guak yurgizi milieg. Gizi sankewe beji pieg yur skitkumig. Ejiwulgiskok gwenog. Wujukeman nikpsiwedligwakwan hamola dijik. Wujukeman psidewen. Chiwuliwan psidegeg eyeg. Upchurch psidela gumugig. Toho. Do you want me to say it in English too? Okay. I just gave thanks to everything that we have. Give thanks for getting us here all safely. Saying prayers for those who cannot be here, those who are having challenging times. And I thank the Creator for this beautiful day, even though it's so cold, but it's a beautiful day nevertheless. Very windy, and I am grateful. Thank you all for being here. It's a beautiful place. This is actually my first time here. And I'm looking forward to what this area has to offer, especially for the healing for our people, which is so badly needed. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this organization, to be a part of my tribe, to be a part of all our nations, to all my relations. Uliwan.
Chiwuliwan Cyril. I'm now going to invite Councilman Kyle Lollard to the podium. He's going to offer our smudge to begin our day. Kyle.
Danagok, Bazita Wen. How's everybody doing? I'm going to come around with the smudge here, and if you wish to be smudged, please let me know. Usually we do this in a circular fashion, so that everybody's included and nobody's backs to each other. So as I come around, please allow me to come do a gentle smudge, and then when we're all done, I will go around everyone behind to make sure we're all in the circle together. So, Woolly one.
To you, Willie One Kyle. So we have a long list of people who have a few words. This work would not have been possible without our tribal leaders. Not only would it not have been possible, the idea probably would not have even sprung into our minds. And so many of them are here today, and I'm honored that they have been standing beside me on this journey and creating a place, a sacred place, for people who want to heal, who want to recover, and want to connect to their culture. I think you're going to see that space when you walk through the property. We've honored every tribal community, every tribal nation in the state throughout this property, as well as many, many artists. I'm going to welcome Sharon Jordan to the podium. Sharon helps lead this organization alongside me and Rebecca Petrie. Sharon was a part of founding this organization. She's been with this organization for a couple decades. Is that fair? I'll stop there. So Sharon, please, if you do not mind coming and introducing our first tribal leader that we'd like to invite to the podium.
Good morning. Morning. I'm Sharon Jordan, and I'm really glad to be here this morning to share in this really incredible moment and big event with the ribbon cutting of the Recovery Center. I have been with Wabanaki since 1996. We actually started in 95, but actually opened our doors in 1996. And I was thinking that this is a special year, in particular, 25 years. It's been just over 25 years, quarter of a century. And I think about where we started from, a small group of like-minded folks really wanting to make a difference and to provide support for people who were dealing with a lot of life stressors. And I remember there was a grant that was available through the state at the time, and it was to serve 15 tribal people. And so we decided to apply. And I remember, really looking at my partners at the time, thinking, wow, this is really a big step for us and something that we hadn't engaged in before. But I felt like we were really pushed by the spirit of, our ancestors, of our elders, of our people, our partners, to make it happen. And I knew that some way, somehow, it would work out. We hit a couple road bumps along the way, and I remember one person in particular being a champion for us and standing right by our side and advocating. And I remember his message, which was that for healing to happen, it has to come from us, and it has to be in multi-directions. And even though we were the little non-mighty people coming along with hardly anything but the shirt on our back, he really believed in us and, continued to provide support. And I am so glad that everybody is here, and I look around at all of the faces, our tribal leaders, our elders, our partners of Millinocket, and I'm amazed to see all of the people, and I know that spirit is there pushing us along, and this opportunity is so important. So with that, I would really like to recognize Vice Chief Richard Syllaboy. He was the person in the beginning that really lifted us and pushed us, and I really want to recognize him today, 25 years later. Willie one.
Thank you. And it's really good to see a good turnout here today. So proud of what the Wabanaki people has done for the problems that we face, the mental health problems and the substance abuse problems that we have. And most of us are working really hard to combat these problems that we face. And hopefully, with the hard work that's happening with these ladies, we'll be able to combat that a little harder. Just to give you an idea on how this got started, in the early 90s, I used to be invited to sit on different state committees, and finally, 94, I think it was, or 95, I got an invitation to sit on a panel that was going to put together a mental health program for the Wabanaki people. And I was anxious to, to sit on that panel. Well, we interviewed, I believe, 4 different groups. And in the process of that, 2 of them got sidetracked right off quick. And Penobscot County Action Program come in, and Sharon and her group came in. We interviewed them. Penobscot County Action Program, or PCAP, all they had to do was put up a sign. They had the staff, they had the money, they had the buildings, everything that they had is what was needed for this Wabanaki mental health program that they were talking about starting up. Well, Sharon, her husband at the time, and her sister came in, and they submitted their idea of what Wabanaki health should look like. And anyways, I was very impressed with what they were saying and how they was going to do what they needed to do. And so anyways, after interviewing all of them, we decided to take a vote. And I believe there's 6 of us on that panel. 5 of the people voted for PCAP. I voted for Sharon and her group. And then we had a discussion. And my discussion was, and I'm not a great negotiator or anything like that, but my argument was, in order for Wabanaki people to get any mental health, it had to come from Wabanaki people. There's certainly no way that PCAP was going to be able to put up a sign and do anything for the Wabanaki people, because they just weren't going to come in there. Why would they go to non-native people to take care and admit their mental health when a lot of the times that's where the problem laid, is amongst the non-natives. So anyways, after a great discussion on that, we decided to interview PCAP and Sharon again the second time, and we did that, and with better understanding of what the plan was and better understanding of what was needed by the Wabanaki people, we after the second interview we voted again, and it was 6-0 voting in favor of Sharon and her group. And it was just an amazing, and that was the beginning of what we got here today. With the work that Sharon has done for many years, and then the work that Lisa's doing, it's just amazing where we come from in the 25 years. And hopefully we can continue to grow. Hopefully we can have a better understanding from the Wabanaki people to the non-natives, and from the non-natives to the Wabanaki people. And I want to thank all of you people for coming out here today and sitting in this cold. Thank you.
Willie One, Vice Chief from the Rustic Band of Micmacs. I'm going to invite Chief Clarissa Sabattus to the podium. Chief Sabattus, my apologies, and I have been working together side by side for many years. Before Chief was a chief, she worked in public health. As a nurse, she knew the impacts of health disparities, health inequities, and substance use disorders in our communities. So, when she was elected chief and then re-elected, her commitment remained. As a chief, even though she is leading a nation, she still spends the time to be here, to answer the phone every single time I call. Well, all of the chiefs do, I have to say. And her vision, I believe you will see throughout this building. And she has a few words to share with you today. So, Chief Sabattus, please join me.
Thank you, Lisa. I'll try to keep it brief. I think I should have brought my mittens today. Lisa Bowil, Deliwiz Clarissa Sabattus, Willistikewig, Nealun, Midaxnikewig. Good morning. My name is Clarissa Sabattus. I'm Maliseet from the Holton Band of Maliseet Indians. And as Lisa said, I've only been chief for about 5 years, but prior to that, I think I spent more years working in public health. And because of the wonderful work of those before me, like Sharon and Richard and Lisa, that has really empowered us to take control of this work that's happening and take control of our health, of our people, and our healing. This healing center is a culmination of many years of planning and work. And, before we started here, I was just reminiscing a little bit. I wish I really could help you see the experience that we've had over the last, almost a decade. From the vision of leaders, not just elected leaders, but community leaders and organizational leaders. We knew that we had something that we needed to address, and it wasn't being taken care of in the, I say non-traditional or traditional ways. We knew that we needed to address this ourselves, that we needed to be the ones that were coming to heal our people and provide a space for that, just as Richard said, and in a way that really encompassed who we are, not just a clinical setting, but a place that was comforting to our people. So throughout that process, the planning that took place, we had a lot of conversations about what that would look like. We wanted to make sure we had a place that was like home and wasn't cold like a clinical setting. We wanted a place where we could hear our own music, a place where we could smell the smells of home, from foods to our sacred medicines. We wanted to hear our language. And I think it might have been Kyle that said he wanted to feel like he was at his grandmother's house. So those were the things I think that really guided Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness and Lisa and her team throughout the creation of this. And I have to say, this is even better than I could have imagined. As a tribal leader, my role has changed from being the one on the ground doing a lot of the work to really having to advocate. As a tribal leader of a nation, it's important for us to self-govern, for self-determination, and I feel like these buildings that you're seeing, I think we've opened one in Bangor, we've opened this one. These healing places are part of that. Trauma has long-lasting effects, so long that sometimes it's passed from generation to generation. And this results in implications for our health and social issues. These inequities are in part the result of enduring legacy to disconnect us from our culture, our language, our families, and our communities. The added stigma only marginalizes our most vulnerable even more. And I see this place of healing as undoing those things that have caused trauma in the past for generations. It embraces our language, our culture, our communities, and our families. And you'll see that reflected in what you'll see in the artwork and just the entire space that you're going to walk through today. It's a place without judgment that meets our people where they're at, and not only provides clinical treatment, but it connects our people to who they are as Wabanaki people. So I'd like to end by saying K'chiwaliwin to Lisa and her team at Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness. And there are so many others. Our Region 1 staff that have been amazing throughout this. And at times been the force that have kind of pushed us forward. And I have to include Miss Pat. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to cut it off so I don't freeze everybody. But thank you for coming. And I'm so happy that we're here doing this today.
Chief Sabattus. The next chief I want to introduce you to is Chief Maggie Dana from the Passamaquoddy tribe at Zibayig. Chief Dana has been a thought partner in this work, has been a emotional support for me and some of our team members through this work, and a true partner and friend. Chief Dana, please join me.
Willie Spuzwill. Can everybody hear me? Maggie Dana and Delewiz, Pescaramukari Nil, Nujeo Zibayig. So every time I do this, it doesn't come out right, so we'll see. And Clarissa stole half my speech. So I think we're all gonna, be saying the same things, but it's taken us years to get where we are today. I mean, a lot of years. So throughout the years, our people have endured continuous acts of genocide. Many of our people have internalized their traumas and acted out the only way they knew how, which was hurting themselves and hurting other people. And many of our people turned to substance abuse because they didn't know how to deal with the traumas that they carried. I've lost my brother, my mother, to alcoholism, and many of my friends and family to substance abuse. And that's just my story. I'm pretty sure all our Wabanaki people have stories like that. And growing up, it was more of alcoholism on my reservation, but today there's more than that. There's a lot of substance abuse and harder drugs and overdoses, and we send people off. Before this, we would send them out of state to other cultural places, and that's good, but you can't send the whole family. And with this, it brings a lot of hope. For me, I wish this was done. I think we all wished it was done sooner, but there's a lot of hard work to get us here. And again, it just brings a lot of hope. So when our people have been immersed in colonizations for so long, we become disconnected from our culture. Wuli Bamosawagin, living a good life. That's what our ancestors would want for us. And somehow, in little ways, we get disconnected from that, through our hurts. And this is going to reconnect us, or those that need that help. So for me, and I think the other chiefs, a lot of our people believe this, is our culture, it has the answer to everything. There's prevention, there's just the way we look at the world around us, the relationships we have with one another. It's just in our being. Our ceremonies, our language, we just kind of got away from that. And, this is going to increase our capacity to heal. So I think that is about it. I'm just proud, I'm excited, and I want to thank everybody for doing the hard work. All the people that I don't even know, you know. I don't know Pat Nicola too much, but I've heard your name so many times through my friends, you know. So I appreciate all your hard work that you've done over the years. She really won, and thank you for having me.
She Willie One, Chief Dana. I want you all to know that Pat Knox Nicola made my skirt. She's retired, however, so don't get any crazy ideas. The chief I want to introduce next, and I realize, Chief Nicholas, I never introduced myself. And I realized that as I was coming up here because I'm introducing you to my chief. So my name is Lisa Sakabason, and I help to lead the Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness team. And I'm from Madotmagook, Indian Township, Passamaquoddy tribe, and I'm going to introduce you to my chief, Chief Nicholas. Chief Nicholas, I'm not done yet. And why I'm not done is Chief Nicholas, like the other two chiefs, answer my call every single time. And I tried to do the same. Chief Nicholas is there for us, this organization, for me personally, as well as this challenge, substance use disorder. As Chief Dana said, it impacts us each personally. And we've had those conversations with each other, how difficult that is, and how difficult that is as leaders. Me as a leader of an organization, him as a leader of a tribal nation. And sometimes you feel powerless. What can I do? Even with all that power, if you will. And the simple answer is we can't do anything alone. But together, this is what we create. Chief Nicholas, please join me.
Thank you, Lisa. Willie Spazoil, Sagum William Nicholas Taliwis. My name is William Nicholas. I'm the chief of the Passamaquoddy tribe, Indian Township, Madotmagook. And I've been chief, this will be my 12th year. Before we go any further, I just want us to take a quick second to recognize those we've lost, because that's the most important. It's substance abuse, losses in our families, our relatives, people we've lost that are traditional keepers of our language, our culture, our teachings is what's the most important thing in this healing center right here. Without the holistic approach of being able to heal the individual throughout, then we can't answer the traumatic problems that brought that individual or the families or the reunifications to be whole once again. We have to heal the entire individual, the entire family, in order for there to be a huge success. Recognizing those we've lost, the families and the trauma that they go through from substance abuse, substance use, the children that have been exposed to substances is something that we need to address, not just by the Wabanaki people and for the Wabanaki people, but with the collaboration of all the entities and agencies that have contributed to make this happen. I listened to the chiefs talk here and the vice chiefs, and we've been talking about this for a long time. And with collaboration with Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness and Lisa and her family, and so many things come to my mind about where this can go and how it can heal families and how it can reunify. In order for this to work for our people, the Wabanaki people, you have to have your culture, your traditions, your values, and your teachings. We are not like everybody else. We cannot go out into the traditional side of treatment and think that that's going to work for our people, because it's not. It's been proven that it does not work. My commitment beyond being chief, which I'm proud to be Lisa's chief, and a chief of the Wabanaki people, and I know there's other chiefs that couldn't be here today because of travel restrictions and some other things. I traveled here this morning and thought about a lot of things. But the one ultimate thing is healing our people from substance abuse. It affects every single one of us. It affects my family. It affects my children. It affects my grandchildren. And I'll contribute 100% to every Wabanaki person standing here today, every non-tribal person that I can help get help, and every individual that needs the hand up instead of the hand down to be able to get substance abuse treatment in one way or another to heal them holistically. So Lisa, I want to thank you. Sharon, I want to thank you and the chiefs and the vice chiefs and their families and their dedication, and everybody here today that's put so much into the success of this healing center. And I can't wait. I said earlier, maybe it's going to be one, but it's going to be a seed. We look over there and we see the Wabanaki Health and Health and Wellness cultivating the health of our communities. It all started from a seed, a thought, an idea to work with agencies and our people to make this a success. And it will work. It will be a success. And we will heal our people. All of us, one person at a time. Thank you.
Chief Chief Nicholas. Just a few more people are going to share their words with us. Vice Chief Daryl Newell has been at the table, and he's Vice Chief of the tribe that I am a citizen as well. Vice Chief Newell has been at the table helping us design what you're going to see in a few moments. At the table helping us think about what those stories are of recovery and what we need to be thinking about in terms of offerings, in terms of loving, in terms of holding space without judgment, regardless of the story. Vice Chief Newell, Chiwiliwan, for your leadership. Please join me.
Wiliwan, Kulazi Kolpa, Willis Pazuel. Wiliwan Gazeltamuya, Klawas Tuamalania. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I want to thank Millinocket, the people of Millinocket, for hosting us, for embracing us and welcoming us to your community and allowing us to set up a facility that's desperately needed among our people. We need this facility to help our people stay alive and to get well and walk a better road. And what a wonderful opportunity. My greatest offering to anybody is that I've been sober more than half my life. I haven't taken a drink of alcohol or a drug of any kind for more than 36 years, and I'm grateful for that gift. That divine gift from God that allows us to get sober and stay sober, but it takes more than that. It takes support from facilities like this, and it's wonderful to see it happening. I'd like to thank Lisa and Sharon and all of Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness for nurturing a family relationship with Millinocket, and that's what needs to happen. We're in this together. We're in need of your help, and I see it come to fruition. I've been around for a long time, and this has been a dream for me to have a facility like this for our people to begin a better life. So thank you very much.
Chiwiliwan, Vice Chief Newell. I next want to welcome Vice Chief Ernie Neptune. Vice Chief Neptune is the Vice Chief of the Passamaquoddy tribe at Zibayig. Vice Chief Neptune is newly elected. And as soon as he was elected, he was full on board. Full on board. He attends every meeting. He's ready to provide guidance, his opinions, as well as experience whenever we meet. Vice Chief, I am happy you were elected. You have been a strong partner in the area of recovery, and I want to welcome you to the podium.
Thank you very much. Very, very much honored to be here today to see this ribbon cutting ceremony happen. You know, a lot's changed since I've been here a couple of months ago. It didn't look like much, but it certainly came a long way since then. And, you know, I'd like to thank very much so the Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness Organization for first assembling a vision, talking about the vision, making the vision. And here we are today, realizing that it's true. It's going to happen. And I can not only be a messenger to my people at Zibayig, I can actually trying to help them come. We have a place for them to be here. I mean, I don't know of any family who has not been impacted by substance abuse. I myself don't know what that means and what that feels like in a sense because I never done it. I lost my oldest sister because of this. We know what substance abuse can do. It can really cause dysfunctional activities within the families, destroy families, and it hurts me very much to see this happen. So I just want to thank, you know, Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness and their staff for making this happen. Thank you very much. And I'll still continue to support you guys right to while I'm still living. Thank you very much.
Willie One, Vice Chief. One of the things that the Vice Chief just said is having a place, and you heard all leaders talk about that. One of the things that we say at Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness is wherever you are in your journey, we have a place for you. We have a place for you. Think about that responsibility. Can we all say that? Can we all say we're working towards that? We're not there yet. We have big, big plans, so continue to watch our work. We're hoping in 2022 it will be a big year for us, that indeed, wherever you are in your journey, we will have a place for you. That's our goal. And I have to say, two of the biggest people who pushed me to make sure that I was on task, pushed me to make sure I was calling people back and I was attending meetings. Those two people are Pat Knox-Nicola and Paul Jacobson, Federal Region 1 HHS Acting Administrator. I want you two to join me. I'm asking you to join me together because it seems like whenever I see Pat or whenever I see Paul, I say, hey, I just saw Pat, or hey, I just saw Paul. Don't worry, Ralph. They are good friends. They know how to motivate, and they know how to make sure we stay on task. So I have a feeling Pat's going to speak first. I'm not going to make that decision for them. But I want to call them both here. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Lisa springs this on me it feels like every time we have a gathering to say a few words. And Paulie's always, we call him Uncle Paulie. He's behind me. So first of all, I just want to say it is a good day today. It is a good day. A dream of many people has come true today through a lot of hard work and diligence and pounding tables and closing doors and tears and joy. And today is a joyful day. I can remember one short story. I can remember when I started working at the health department many years ago, 1980, 1981. And we went to council to ask for a resolution to declare war on alcoholism. And in that resolution, we said every single person in this community is either directly or indirectly affected by alcoholism. Our council was horrified that we made that statement. And it took them a few years to recognize that what we were saying was true. And it's still true today. This house is the beginning of our war on substance use disorder. It is a good day.
First off, before I begin, I do have to point out that my good friend Pat made a skirt for Lisa, but she didn't make one for me, and I'm not sure how I should take that. But
Next time.
anyway, before I say anything, I really want to acknowledge the Region 1 federal team because, again, you know, I get to stand here and speak, but they're the folks that make everything possible. And I'm going to just ask them to stand when I call their name. Tom Coder, who is currently the Deputy Secretary for SAMHSA, so he's a big shot now, but he will be coming back hopefully as the Region 1 SAMHSA Administrator. And then my good friend and mentor and person who makes sure that we behave ourselves all the time. And I just got a mental block, but whatever the hell her name is. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm only kidding. I'm nervous. Oh, my Lord.
Catherine.
Yeah. Catherine Power. And I was just sitting here thinking, I hope I put my tie on correctly because Catherine's going to tell me. And I got off track. Jeffrey Beard, who is the HRSA Regional Administrator. Where's he hiding? Right back here. Okay. As well as Taylor Bryan Turner, who is the Deputy Regional Administrator for HRSA, because HRSA and SAMHSA together, those two agencies have really stepped forward with funding and technical assistance and really made a difference. And I also want to point out Gordon Smith, the governor's substance abuse advisor, who's here today. This is absolutely an amazing opportunity that I've seen, you know, pretty much since the beginning, though not as far back as Pat. I think I was in grade school when she started. But anyway, it's a great opportunity for local, state, federal, tribal colleagues to get together, to work, to make something possible. You know, we're humbled by this day today. We're also cognizant of the fact of those who have been lost, and we're just so thankful going forward that we're going to have an opportunity and really encouraged for the things to come. And I do want to say to Lisa and to the Wabanaki Public Health Group, you know, when we all sat around and had conversations about how can we help them make something like this happen, none of us from the federal team, I don't think, could have imagined at all what they've accomplished. I mean, not just this building, but the whole dream, the whole idea, the other facilities, and it's just amazing. And I've said it before, you know, after 10 years in local government, 20 years in state government, and now 20 years in federal government, this is by far the best project I've ever had the opportunity to be part of, and thank you all for that. Thank you.
Willie, One, Paul, and Pat. Please.
I forgot one of the most important people, Elaine Zimmerman from the Administration, Children and Families. The regional administrator is here too. There she is. Oh, she was hiding in the corner. Thank you.
Hello, Elaine, another amazing partner. So we're wrapping up. We're going to ask you to join us to the ribbon, and we're going to invite our chiefs to cut that ribbon so we can enter a warmer building. We are being careful. If you please wear your masks inside. We are still in the middle of a pandemic, and as I said, speaking of pandemics, it's difficult to renovate during a pandemic. I don't know if you've tried that personally, but it's been difficult. But I will say we could not have chosen a better partner in Nickerson and O'Day. Their work, you'll see the beauty of their work. You'll also see probably their frustrations as well as ours, that the floors didn't come in on time and certain things might be missing. But you will see their commitment in this work, and I thank you, Nickerson and O'Day, for that commitment. I also want to thank the town of Millinocket and its people. It's a special place you have here, and we're happy to be a part of it. We're really looking forward to future partnerships. We're already building our relationship, and I believe the best is yet to come. So thank you, Millinocket, and your people, and all of your businesses. Angelo's and the House of Pizza sustained us, as well as the cafe and their donuts. Moose Prince Gallery, holy wow. You're going to see their art throughout this building. And there are many, many more, and I also want to thank our Indigenous partners as well. Obviously, our tribal chiefs and nations, as well as Representative Newell, thank you for being here, as well as other elected tribal officials. And thank you for Directions Corporation. We could not have done this without you, obviously. You are our funding partner, you are our thought partner, and you're our family. And we thank you. Thank you also for all the elected officials, as well as the delegation representatives that are with us today. We thank you, Chiwiliwan, for visiting our properties, for being present for us, and hearing our story. Let's cut this ribbon and start the tours. And I will say before, I know you want to clap. Before you clap, after you get your tour, please, our second property is the Gathering Place. The Gathering Place is our connection to our ceremony, our culture, our medicines, and we want you to see that property. We will take you to that property, and there's free lunch for you all. And you don't have to stay. You can take your box and go. So there's a lot of incentive to go see that beautiful property, and please take your lunch. And let's cut this ribbon. Thank you. Chiwiliwan.